Hello, this is Mrs. Correa, and we are talking about angle relationships today. We're going to start by talking about two different angle pairs. The first one is complementary angles. Complementary angles are a pair of angles that have a sum of 90 degrees. An example would be a right angle created by two smaller angles, as you can see. And I always remember that complementary angles have 90 degrees by looking at that first letter it starts with a C. And out of that C, I can make the number 90. So that's how I remember that complementary is 90 degrees. Next, we've got supplementary angles are a pair of angles that have a sum of 180 degrees. And 180 degrees is actually a straight line. So we're talking about two angles which together make a straight line. That's what an example of that could look like. And I remember that by taking that S that supplementary starts with, and I can make 180 out of it. So supplementary 180, complementary 90. Let's use these two rules to answer some questions. So number one says angles A and B are supplementary angles. Remember, supplementary means 180. So that means that A plus B equals 180. The measure of angle A is 42 degrees. Find the measure of angle B. So if I know A is 42, I know 42 plus angle B equals 180. So to find our missing angle, we're just going to work backwards and we're going to subtract 180 minus 42. So we're subtracting 42 and we're going to get angle B equals 138 degrees. Taking a look at number 2. The measure of angle C is 12 degrees. Angles C and D are complementary. Remember, complementary is 90-degree angles. So I'm going to say C plus D equals 90 for my equation. And they told me what angle C was. Angle C is 12 degrees. They want to know, what is angle D? Well, just like before, we're going to undo, or we're going to kind of go backwards. Instead of addition, we're going to subtract. So we're going to subtract 12. 90 minus 12 gives me 78 degrees. Let's look at number 3. Angle F and G are complementary. So right off the bat, I know F plus G equals 90 because complementary is 90 degrees. Angle F measures 4x plus 5. So instead of F, I'm going to write 4x plus 5. And then I'm going to do 4x plus 5 plus G, which we know is 15. And that equals 90 degrees. Now I'm going to solve this equation first by combining like terms. So I've got my 5 and my 15 is going to equal 20. And then we're going to move on from there by isolating the variable. We got to figure out what x is. So we're going to start by undoing the addition or subtraction. This is a two-step equation. So thinking back to algebra, whenever you're left with just two steps like this, you always add or subtract first. So I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides, and I get 4x equals 70. My second step is always multiply or divide. So we're going to finish this off by dividing both sides by 4. And I get x equals 17.5. Now, they also want to know what is the measure of angle F and what is the measure of angle G. We know that angle F is 4x plus 5. But we also know that x is 17.5. So to find this, we're going to do 4 times 17.5 plus 5. 4 times 17.5 is 70. 70 plus 5 is 75. So that's going to be my measure of angle F. And then in the problem, they told us what angle G was. They said it was 15. So our three answers are 17.5, 75, and 15. All right, let's talk about the angle sum theorem. So an angle sum theorem says that all three angles in a triangle add up to equal 180 degrees. So let's fill in our blanks here. We know that the sum of the three interior angles, that's all of the angles on the inside of the triangle, it's interior, in any triangle always equals 180 degrees. So let's use that information to help us answer numbers 4 and 5. So number 4 is a right triangle. We know it's a right triangle because they have this little right angle marked here. This little square means right angle, which means it's 90 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and write in a little 90 degrees there. All right, now we know 2 of the 3 angles, right? Because we know that all 3 angles equal 180 degrees. A plus B plus C equals 180. And they want us to know, well, what are the value of the 3 angles? Well, we already know angle B is 51, and we know angle C is 90. So to find the third angle, we're just going to subtract. We're just going to do 180 minus 51, and then minus 90. And that's going to tell us what angle A is. And that is 39. Now it also says find the value of x. So to find the value of x, we know that angle A is 2x plus 5, but we also know it's 39. So 2x plus 5 equals 39 is our little two-step equation that we're going to write. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And we're going to divide both sides by 2 so that x equals 17. Okay, so those are our answers for number 4. Let's look at number 5. So on number 5, we have an isosceles triangle. We know it's an isosceles triangle because it has these 2 little lines here. And that means that these 2 sides are the same. Isosceles triangles have 2 sides that are the same. So if that's true, then the angles on both sides are also the same. So we have 35 degrees for angle E. Well, it means angle F is also 35 degrees. So I'm going to fill that into my picture. And then I'm also going to fill it in down below where it asks me for the measure of the angles. Okay, we know angle E is 35, and we know that angle F is 35. All right. For our equation, we know that D plus E plus F, all 3 together equal 180 degrees. So to figure out what angle D is, let's just subtract. Once you know what 2 of the 3 angles are, you can subtract them from 180 to find that third angle. So we're going to subtract 35 twice, since there's 2 of them, and we're going to get 110 for angle D. Now remember, the instructions also tell us to find what x equals. So in order to find what x equals, we're going to take the expression they gave us for angle D, this 2x plus 10, and we're going to set it equal to the value of angle D that we just found. We're going to subtract 10 from both sides, and we're going to divide both sides by 2, so we get x equals 50. So our 3 answers are 110, 35, 35, and 50. All right, let's go ahead and go to the back page, or the back of this page, and we're going to do 6, 7, and 8 together, and then I'll let you do the remaining 4 on your own. So number 6, a right triangle has an angle measure of 13.9 degrees. What is the missing angle measure? So we know in this triangle, we have a right angle. They said it's a right triangle, which means that there is a right angle, and that means that's 90 degrees. So one of the angles is 90. Another one of the angles is 13.9. And whenever you know 2 of the 3 angles, you just subtract from 180 to find the third angle. So we're going to do 180 minus 13.9 minus 90 to get my final answer of 76.1 degrees. Number 7, triangle MNO is an isosceles triangle. That's just like the triangle we had on the other side where you have two sides that are the same. And one of the angle measures is 122.6. Oops, sorry, let me fix that. And then we don't know what the other two are. That's what we're trying to find. So let's start by subtracting that from 180 to see what's left. And that's going to give us 57.4. Then I know if two of these angles equal 57.4, then I can divide by 2 to get my final answer of 28.7. All right, last one we're doing together. Number 8, what is the value of x in the triangle below? All right, so we know that this triangle, all three angles equal 180 degrees. We also know that angle J is 2x. We know that angle K is 45, and we know angle L is x plus 15. All right, we're going to add together our like terms. So we know 2x plus 1x is 3x. We know 45 plus 15 is 60. And we know altogether that equals 180. Now we have our lovely two-step equation. We're always going to add or subtract first. So we're going to start by subtracting 60 from both sides, and we get 3x equals 120. We're going to divide both sides by 3. Our last step is always multiplication or division. And we're left with x equals 40. All right, now if it wanted us to find the remaining three angles, I would just substitute in x for my other two. I would do 2 times 40 in angle J, and I would do 40 plus 15 in angle L, and that would give me my value of all three of those angles, which you're going to do on the later problems.